on my way to work, running extremely late. We have more on-site meetings today, and I looked at the clock when I was getting ready. I looked at my phone and realized it was 8:15, and I was like, oh, I wanted to be on my way to work right now, and I am nowhere near that. So Chris packed up my breakfast and my lunch and all that stuff, so I've got it in my backpack so I can eat when I get there. I'm very hungry. I ran this morning, and it was really, really, really hot morning. Hot for running, 68 degrees, so I was beat. I'm not ready for that kind of heat yet. So I came back, and it took me a while to cool down from my run before I could even get in the shower, so it just kind of set me behind. And running days always set me behind because it takes longer, for it to work out than it does if I just work out at the fitness center. So, man, already starting this one out late. We have more on-site meetings today. I think I may have already said that. But it's gonna be another busy one. But at least it's a nice day. I guess that's good. Well, it's a little after 1 o'clock. The on-site meetings for today and tomorrow end at 1. I do have a calendar stacked with meetings for the afternoon. However, I think I'm having to admit that I'm sick, which I don't like to admit those kinds of things. But as our meeting wore on, I started feeling kind of feverish and like with chills, and I thought, oh, I'm not doing so hot. So the idea of being there for the rest of the day was just a little too much. So I'm actually going to clear some of my calendar. I can't miss everything this afternoon, but there's a few things I can clear off. But I'm heading home for the rest of the day just to try to take it easy, and also probably contagious. So probably best for me to not spread my germs to people. So I'd had some like kind of sniffles and just that type of stuff Sunday and Monday, but I was taking some over-the-counter medicine that was really kind of helping to dry that up. So I kind of just thought, oh, maybe it's like seasonal stuff. So I wasn't feeling great yesterday, but after taking the medicine, it was kind of helping that clear up. So today, I feel totally fine, like no congestion, but just suddenly started feeling kind of weak, a really bad headache. And then it like maybe in 30 minutes or so ago, I started with like the chills and feeling like, oh, I think I have a fever. So, and I don't run a fever very often. I can count on one hand how many times I've had a fever in my entire life. So not good. This is not a great time to be sick. This work is a lot right now, which may be some of the reason why, I'm sick. Maybe my immune system is down. So could be that. It also explains why I had such a hard time running this morning, because it wasn't just the heat. I also wasn't feeling great. So apparently there's that too.
Well, I'm letting Gertie out for her afternoon walk. It's been a kind of a slow day. I have been sick, so I've been slow moving and just doing some house cleaning, doing some editing, kind of everything that I kind of just wrapping up, because today is basically the last day that I'm not working full time. Tomorrow I do start kayaking job, so I didn't really have a day off, but trying to enjoy my last day off. Whitney came home early because she's also feeling sick. Really sorry about that, babe. And she definitely got it from me, but we both are just feeling so weak and we don't feel like doing anything. So it's gonna be a very easy night tonight. On my way to work today, we have some return to staff training. So it's officially the first day of kayaking. I don't think we have customers, so I think that's Friday, but it feels official. I'm excited to see some of the returning employees, returning staff, and yeah, hopefully we'll get on the water, because I always like being on the water. So the weather today it's interesting. It's like warm in the sun, cold in the shade. Like feels a little humid, but otherwise it's great. Sun's out.
May 1st. Happy May Day. It rained this morning, but it's pretty nice now. It's about 63 degrees. It's a little humid, and we're walking on the lakefront trail, and there are like swarms of gnats, which happens sometimes when I run in the mornings. When it's a pretty humid day, you get like swarms of gnats, and you're just like, you know, getting them out of your face. So we're dealing with that, but we're out taking Gertie on a nice long walk. I still have 2 more days to catch up on my miles for my fitness challenge, and I had to take a whole day off because of being sick. So I really did not leave the house yesterday. I actually probably felt the worst on Tuesday, but yesterday started out strong and then kind of plummeted downward as the day went on. So, but I did take the day off from working out just to make sure that I was resting. So this morning I just worked out in the fitness center, and then we're out taking Gertie on a walk to try to, again, rack up some miles. I am planning to run in the morning. I'm feeling a little bit better today overall. So I think by tomorrow I should feel good enough to run without having too big of an issue like I did Tuesday morning. So the Shed Aquarium has been doing some massive construction for quite a while. They've been building on like a whole extra like separate wing. So we're real curious about it. It's been a long time since we've been to the shed, but we were saying that we need to get there once that's open because we're real curious about it. We are at one of my very favorite spots, which is out in front of the shed where it kind of juts out. But I think this is some of the best views. You had the planetarium over there. And then you can see some sailboats out there. I think it's one of the sailboat schools. And then looking over at Navy Pier. And then I think this is one of the best views of the skyline. I love it. And I don't know how well you can tell, but all of the trees have like flowers. They look so nice. Some rollerbladers going by. And all the green coming out. It's so nice. I love it.
So tomorrow is my first official day working back at the kayak shop. I have customers tomorrow. I think might be leading a tour. I'm realizing that I'm not ready. I probably should work on my script. But anyway, so that's exciting. I'm super excited to get back and putting customers on the water. This weekend I'm working on Saturday, and Whitney is going to come down and see me at work and also bring Gertie, and everyone at work is excited to
super excited to introduce her.
To meet her. In the beginning of the day, they do the dancing of the bridges, where they open the bridges for the sailboats to come out onto the lake. And tomorrow is supposed to be a huge day because the marina opens this weekend. So that's going to be a pretty exciting thing. Hopefully we'll get to catch some of that. And then Whitney is going to meet me after work, and we're going to go to Robert's Pizza, which is the best restaurant in Chicago.
Cannot wait.
It's one of the top 3 of my favorite restaurants in Chicago. So I like pizza, so it's exciting. Hopefully the weather is decent so we can sit outside on the Ogden Slip. And then I don't know what we're doing Sunday. I have to work, but I'm working pretty late, so
that may be an editing day for me.
Yeah, maybe just a working from home day for you.
Yeah.
We were originally going to begin working on the living room. We have some plans to refresh for the living room, but I think we're gonna postpone that until a future weekend. Leaving work now. First opening day. Super exciting. It was a nice first day. I did the first tour. Only one boat, just a tandem on there. That was super easy. They're from Russia. It was kind of cool talking to them. Those little one boat tours are always easy because it's more one-on-one. It's a lot quicker when we make stops. It's a lot quicker, and then I feel like they get a lot more information and then like more personalized to them. I like being able to to ask, like to pose the questions. Like if someone has questions, I can answer them, and it's kind of harder when there's like 18 boats. So the weather today is not great, so it wasn't super busy. It's supposed to be even worse tomorrow and Sunday, so not the best opening weekend, but it's still pretty exciting. Ready to be back on the water.
Hey, Kurt, what do you say? All right, I am out for my very last walk to count toward my fitness challenge. I did total up my miles, and I am sadly about 4 miles short from where I was last year. So because I was sick this week, I missed a run that I planned to do, and so that cost me those miles. I would have beat my record, would have beat my last year, so I'm really bummed. Hopefully it's still enough to win, so we'll see. But I'm out here doing my last walk, probably get about a mile or so with Gertie tonight. Chris is at work. This is the first day for him, kicking off the kayak season, so it's always like bittersweet because it's really nice that he's home during the winter time and he doesn't have, as many commitments, and summer just gets really busy because his work schedule's intense and he works a lot of nights and weekends, so it's like harder for us to have time together and all that stuff. So it can be a tough time, but I know how much he loves, working there. So it's a pretty cool job. So we sacrifice and make it work. But anyway, today was his first day, and then once I'm done with my walk with Gertie, I'm going to be meeting my parents. We're going to dinner with them at Industry Ales, one of our very favorites. If you've watched some of our other videos, we like Industry Ales. We go there a lot. It's real close to our house, and they have fantastic burgers, which sounds delicious. So super excited about that.
So it is
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Yeah. This is Gertie's first time at the Riverwalk. You may notice we are at Urban Kayaks.
Yeah, today I'm working in about 10 minutes.
Yep. And I'm here because of the Dancing of the Bridges. So I'm going to head down. It started around 8 o'clock. So it'll take a while to come down to this end of the river. So I think I'm going to head down the Riverwalk toward the west end and see how many bridges I can watch for a little bit. Brought a book with me, brought Gertie. Again, her first time at the Riverwalk, so it was a lot of fun. We took her out in the stroller. It was funny because she couldn't decide if she wanted to be in the stroller or out of the stroller. She kept going back and forth. I think she likes walking but gets tired, so she likes a little bit of a break. Okay, I'm behind a corgi right now, which is like my favorite position. Look how cute. I love it. He's so precious. You see him, Gertie? Okay, I found a nice sunny spot. I think this will do. I'm a little surprised that they aren't already at this point. Feels like they should be by now. We are right by Wells Street, so the train's gonna come by from time to time. Gertie's not gonna like that. So it is a little chilly this morning. It's about like a bit, I think it's right about 50 degrees now. So sitting in the sun feels nice because, and there's clouds, like you can see kind of clouds coming over. So it's not like, constant sun, but it's nice just to kind of warm you up a wee bit. So I'm here at like the gardens, which are just starting to creep up for the season. So they're looking pretty. They'll look really pretty in a few weeks. But anyway, I think this will be a nice vantage point, and it's a little warmer and out of the wind, which is good since we're gonna sit here for a little bit. I've been out here for a little bit. I'm starting to lose the sun. I think that the clouds have shifted and are coming in, and the wind has changed direction and is now blowing through here. So it's feeling a little bit chilly. And I think it's safe to say we missed it. So that's really unfortunate. I guess we must have just been too late. I thought for sure we would at least catch the tail end of it, but since I've walked up and down the Riverwalk, or all the way down the Riverwalk, and no bridges are raising and no boats have come since that time, I think it's safe to say we missed it this weekend. So we'll have to try again another weekend. Hopefully one a little slightly warmer. Not that it's still a nice day today, but it is a little chilly to sit out here. But got a little bit of reading done, and it's just nice to sit. We are near the train, which Gertie does not enjoy, so it keeps going by and she gets nervous. So I think we may head back to the house. But this has been a nice little outing for her, a good chance to see the Riverwalk for her first time. She certainly has been curious about the dogs and all the people walking by, that's for sure. So, but she'll spend a lot of time here this summer, so good for her to get a try. Okay, I literally got up and started walking away. I was like, well, I guess we'll head down the Riverwalk and say goodbye to Chris and then head home. And then I hear the bells, and I would turn around and they're closing off the bridge that is literally over here. It's Franklin Street to my left, and I see masts. So the sailboats are coming. So thank goodness I didn't miss it. I was so sad. So we'll get to see a few of them, which is great. Back to Urban Kayaks. I'm underneath Columbus, which is the next bridge after Michigan. So the last two bridges are Columbus and then Lakeshore. Urban Kayaks is between those two bridges. So I'm gonna make my way back there, meet up with Chris, and then probably head back home. But I did just see the Centennial Fountain shooting off because it shoots this like giant stream all the way across the river. It's really cool, but I missed it. It was turning off just as I got close enough to try to get some footage of it. I may have some B-roll from last year I can put in to show you what it looks like. But it is cool to see the fountains on. It feels like summer activity-wise, but it doesn't feel like summer temperature-wise. Definitely not. So that is Columbus there. The bells just started ringing, so it'll be raising here in a few minutes. But you can see there's quite a long stretch between Columbus and Lakeshore. It's one of the longer stretches between bridges, significantly longer than the other passes they've been making. So that's Lakeshore there, and then they're out to the lock and then the lake. All right, and there goes Columbus. It looks like this one they are gonna raise both sides. All right, I'm at Urban Kayaks. We've had to wait quite a while for Lakeshore to open, but it is finally, the bells are ringing, so it should be opening here in just a few minutes. And Lakeshore is another one, they will just open the one side. It's taken a while though. Well, I've been hanging around long enough that I get to see the Centennial Fountain go off. So it shoots across like this. You just don't want to be under it in a kayak, ideally, unless it's a really hot day. Whew, I am back home. My bangs were doing something crazy because of my hat, so I had to like wet them and give them a quick dry. Real bad from like my hat hair. But Gertie and I are back home. It is like almost 2 o'clock. It's 1:45, and I have not eaten yet, so I'm eating some quick lunch. Our original plan was that I was going to go to the Riverwalk, watch the Dancing of the Bridges, which I did not anticipate was going to take 2.5 hours. So it was a very long event. It actually started at 8 a.m., but they start way south on the South Branch, and there's I think like 5 bridges that they go under from the South Branch. So that started at 8 o'clock. I did not see the Franklin Bridge raise until close to 10:30 a.m. So it was 2.5 hours before they even got to the main branch of the river. And then they have all the bridges on the main branch. So it was about almost 1 o'clock by the time they finally got through Lakeshore. So it takes a really long time. So originally I was planning to come home for a little bit and then go back out and meet Chris when he was done with work. And we were going to go to Roberts. But because it's kind of cold, we don't really want to go to Roberts. It's not really like a super nice, day to just be out and about, and I've been outside a lot. So instead, we're going to DoorDash some Roberts tonight. So he'll just come home from work, we'll DoorDash the pizza, and we're just gonna go over to my parents and hang out and eat a pizza over there. So I think that'll be a really nice way to close off the evening. It was a great day, really enjoyed being out there. I enjoyed seeing that. That's the first time I've seen, kind of from start to finish along the main branch of the Dancing the Bridges. So it was a really cool experience. Pizza is here. We're over at my parents', so just waiting to take it upstairs.
Beautiful Sunday morning. It's actually amazing out here. It's supposed to be like pretty icky weather, but feels great. Hopefully it doesn't just like turn and get real cold. Yesterday was Saturday. It was our first Saturday at Urban Kayaks, and we didn't really have a lot of business. It's just people. It was really kind of cold. It's kind of misty and sprinkly a few times, but kind of just drove the customers away. The opening weekends are always kind of like hit or miss. Sometimes it's like super warm and we're super busy, and sometimes it's super cold and we just have time to do projects and stuff, which is nice because we kind of need that time, to get boats ready and cleaned and just all of that stuff. And then the years that we are busy right away, like all of those things kind of get neglected and just put off until we have time to do them. So
it's getting pretty close to lunchtime. I am getting hungry, but I'm taking Gertie out for kind of her mid-morning go out and like walk around. It's actually it looks like it might rain this afternoon during the time we take her for her afternoons go out, so I'm gonna have to watch that pretty closely. Hopefully get out before it starts raining. Because she does not enjoy going out in the rain. So I'm trying to take her on a little bit of a walk now because she may not get much of one this afternoon. But I have taken it really easy today. In fact, I decided not to even run today. I decided I didn't sleep in, but I just kind of like laid in bed for a little while and rested. Waited for Ollie's medicine alarm to go off. And then I was like, okay, now it's time to get up. But I was planning on running this morning. I just wasn't feeling it. I thought, I'm gonna rest, and I don't do that often on a weekend day, and it's kind of nice too, because then you can kind of have like a lazy morning. So that's what I did, and it was great. But I am doing some editing. I've got a little bit of meal prep I want to do today. I think I've mentioned in other vlogs, I'm trying to get on top of the food situation for when Chris is in kayak season, because what we end up doing is Chris eats a whole bunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I eat a whole bunch of Trader Joe's gluten-free chicken nuggets in the air fryer. So trying to have some good variety. So I'm gonna do some meal prepping today for some meals this week, so that he and I both have some like salads, and like I think I'm gonna make like a taco pasta salad. I'm making fajitas tonight for dinner, so I thought I could even take some of the chicken that's left from dinner and use that like maybe with the taco pasta salad to kind of give just a couple of different meal options to take to work. For both of us, and then also for like the nights that he's working late, I can have something for dinner that isn't, just chicken nuggets. So maybe working on that this afternoon. But I was doing some editing this morning as well, and started actually even working on this vlog, and realized that with the Dancing of the Bridges, all of the footage I did yesterday, it's a lot. And so I think what I'm actually gonna do is put it in its own video and just do like a short bit for this vlog about the Dancing of the Bridges, and then actually just do a whole video that's kind of like an extended cut, so to speak, because it's a lot, and I didn't want this video to be like 45 or 50 minutes long. So I think I'm gonna separate that out, and I'll probably be playing with that when I get back after I eat some lunch. Gertie doesn't get a ton of exercise sometimes on her walks because we walk about 10 feet and then she wants to sniff around for a while. So I let her because she's enjoying herself. Checking back in on this garden out here. It looks like most of the daffodils are spent, but a lot of the tulips are up, and they're really pretty. And they've got it like all along here. There's actually some over there that have like a really pretty like white and purple. Lovely.
On my way home from work, went in today for training, and then also what I thought was going to be a shift, but the weather is just not cooperating with us, and we just didn't even open. It was just not worth it opening for customers if they're not even going to come. So got to leave early today, which is nice because pretty soon my weekends are going to be pretty packed and busy, so being, sent home early is not that big of a deal. And just get to go home and rest and be with Gertie and Whitney.
Well, I got a bit of a surprise this afternoon. Chris came home. Say hello, Chris.
Hello.
Chris came home early because it's kind of cold outside. It actually, I think there's a threat of rain a little bit later this afternoon as well. Still need to get Gertie out before it starts raining. But we are working on our meal prep stuff that I was going to do this afternoon. So it's nice to have the help because Chris is here to help. So he's actually cutting up the bacon right now. We are prepping for Cobb salads as our salad for the week. And then the pasta salad that we're making is a taco pasta salad. So we'll have a little bit of work to do there. But I think I'm going to start on the Cobb salad stuff first and get that taken care of. So we're going to cook the bacon. I've got some eggs here ready to hard boil. We'll like cut up some of the vegetables. Some of the stuff we'll cut up like day of, like morning of, like cucumbers and avocado so that it's fresh. Obviously that doesn't keep once you cut it up. And then the other thing we're going to do is actually get the chicken marinating for dinner tonight too. So we're going to be doing a little bit of food prep here this afternoon. Trying to get all that stuff taken care of so we're ready for the week. I've got my eggs in here, so I'm going to get these started boiling for the hard-boiled eggs. These will be for the Cobb salads, but I figured we could also eat them for snacks as well. So I went ahead and I have a full dozen in here to boil. Okay, I think the eggs are now at a rolling boil. Perfect. So we will cover them back up, and then we're just going to turn off the heat and set a timer for 12 minutes. So the bacon is coming along nicely. This is like a different kind of bacon than I usually buy, and it's some kind of like, did you read the packaging? It's like has like a maple, smoked maple something. Anyways, it's kind of got like a brownness to it, but it smells really good. So that'll be for the Cobb salad. And then Chris is getting all the stuff ready over here for the marinade for our chicken tonight for the fajitas. So the bacon is done, and then I am just going to this is the chicken for the Cobb salad. I'm going to kind of fry it a little bit on each side in the bacon grease. I thought that would give it some good flavor, and then we will bake it the rest of the way. Okay, so that is looking fabulous. I just turned the chicken, and it looks so yummy. So I think that will be really delicious. The timer for the eggs just went off, so I'm going to put them in an ice bath to stop the cooking immediately. Okay, so the bacon I've put in 2 separate containers. I'm going to freeze one of them for like midway through the week for us to get out, and the other one I'm going to put in the fridge. That way it stays kind of better all week for us. Okay, so for the Cobb salad, I basically have everything for it in this drawer. So we've got like the tomatoes here. There's some cucumbers down here, and those we'll cut up on the day. We've got some shallots. I did go ahead and put the bacon in here. I know it seems weird to put that in the vegetable drawer, but that's just so that we don't forget it's there. And then that's just an onion. And then the celery is over here. So basically what we will do is on the day, kind of put everything together, cut up some cucumber, cut up some avocado, and add that all in there. And then the only other thing will be the hard-boiled eggs, which I still need to peel. They're in their ice bath, and they're getting close to where we can peel them. I am gonna go ahead and peel them. Oftentimes with hard-boiled eggs, I'll leave them in their shell and just kind of peel them as we eat them. But to make things easier on us each morning as we're making our salads, I'm gonna go ahead and peel them now. And that way they're just easy to get. That one came off nicer. All right, hard-boiled eggs are done, so we'll have the hard-boiled eggs, all of the stuff for the Cobb salad in here, with the lettuce up here. Excited? I thought you'd like that. Now you're hungry. And the chicken is now out of the oven. I'm gonna let this cool for a little bit and then I'll cut it up. And I'm probably gonna do the same thing with the chicken I did with the bacon, where I put half of it in the freezer so that midweek we can get it out, and that way it kind of stays fresher. So now we're gonna make the pasta salad. I have gluten-free noodles for the pasta salad base. I'm gonna make some black beans, and then I have this fire roasted corn from Trader Joe's. I'm gonna use this instead of like canned corn because I think that sounds yummy. Okay, I have everything ready for the Cobb salads. Chicken's all cut up, everything's set. The pasta salad is all done. We put the noodles in with the beans and the corn, but it's in the fridge cooling off completely because the pasta was still kind of hot. The only other thing we'll mix in there right now is cheese, and then we'll put it in a container in the fridge to kind of get out in individual portion sizes. And then we'll just cut up an avocado to add on the day. All right, we are back in the kitchen after letting this cool. I've added the cheese. I'm gonna add it into this container. It's actually the meat marinator from Tupperware, but I've never really used it for marinating meat. I use it for storing things like cookies. But I'm gonna put the pasta salad in there for us to get out in individual portion sizes and or individual portions throughout the week. And Chris is gonna make dinner. All right, we have got the onions and the peppers sauteing before we do the chicken. And we only use half the red onion, so we cut up the other half to go in the Cobb salads. The chicken is almost done, and we are ready to assemble. All right, I got mine assembled. You're working on yours. Coming along. Well, another successful week down.
Yes.
First week of...
First week back into kayaking, even though it's been not a great week because the weather has kind of put a damper on things, but it's exciting to be back. It's exciting to see people again. So
yeah, for sure. It was fun being on the Riverwalk yesterday, and like I think I said it in the vlog, but like it feels like summer activity wise, but it doesn't feel like summer temperature wise. Yeah. So, but I'm sure the day will come when it'll be hot and we'll be missing these days. So, but I hope you enjoyed coming along. We'll see you in the next one.